To talk about something, but no, we're live. Hello everybody, we're live in a different time today, talking about Mama the Film. I'm Sonia Troiani, the creator of the Mama the Film project, which is a platform for women to talk about their stories and their struggles in relation to motherhood, but it's also a documentary film that we are in the process of crowdfunding. So please, if you're in a position to give a donation, do, because we need money to make this film, but also we want to provide some services. We want to provide some help for all the moms that are struggling in a way or another and they need some direction. So listen to our stories because we are moms, but also listen to our tips because we are practitioners and we can give some help and some direction. Today, I'm very happy to have Megan Hurst. Welcome, Megan, who's also a practitioner like me. And a mom of 3 like me. So yes. Yeah, and we also discovered that we were born in the same year. Yes. So welcome, Megan. You are a journey practitioner. Yes. And so you're going to tell us a little bit about that, yes. Which is something that I'm learning about. I didn't know much about journey work. So I'm very curious to hear what the description of it is. Yeah. And then we are going to focus on self-love. So today's theme is about self-love and self-care. So we're going to go into that in a few minutes. So let's get going, let's get started. Megan, do you want to say something about yourself to start with?
Sure, thanks so much for having me, Sonia.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you to all the viewers that are here with us today. And so yeah, I'm Megan Hurst, mother of 3, and I experienced postnatal depression with my second son, who is now 20. And then I have a third son who's 6.5, and I had anxiety with him. So my journey began really when I had the postnatal depression with my second son, which was my spiritual awakening. It was about me finding about who I was, and that was all about loving myself and finding that connection with myself and excuse me, a connection with all that is really, with life itself.
It's interesting how this is actually quite a theme. Everybody's gone through some kind of crisis, then they have found that there was actually an awakening and a blessing in disguise. And there are so many people talking about it in that type of terms. And I think it's important to remember that everything is temporary, and what we are experiencing might actually be a big support for finding a better version of who we truly are. So
that's totally it. It's the breakdown is actually a breakthrough, and it's our soul's way of communicating with us that something's off and something needs to change, and it will give us those cues through the body. And if we're not listening, it just gets a little bit louder and stronger and more uncomfortable, sometimes totally extreme, like in the case of postnatal depression or the anxiety or postnatal stress disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. So and that's what we're talking about today. That's relevant, but of course there's lots of other wake-up calls.
Yes, and the struggle that mothers encounter, that it can come in different shapes and forms.
Definitely.
And of course postnatal depression is what we all know about, and we all heard about that, and that's what people are during the screening of, I'm thinking about the health practitioners that support mothers. They're normally looking for those signs, but actually there are so many other ways of experiencing struggles and challenges through motherhood, and this is really what we want to talk about. What are these challenges? Are we free to talk about them? Yes, we are. That's the answer.
Totally.
Let's do it.
Totally. It's lovely that you're giving a platform that we can come out and talk and share and shine our lights and shed some light on the whole situation. Even though it is a dark time, it's it's not about the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, it is, but we've got our lights to shine now to light up the tunnel to help us get through. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So what was happening for you at that time?
So really, I had put a lid on myself as a coping mechanism, and so I was numb, and I had spent the majority of my life doing things because I thought that's what people wanted to hear and see from me, and because I got a great response from that, you know, just being the people pleaser and the woman that, or the child or teenager that blended in and always said yes, and and I didn't really realise who I was. So having postnatal depression, when I got to the depths of the despair and there was nowhere else to go but up, I was, it was a discovery of self, and I started evaluating my thoughts and my beliefs and my behaviours and my words, and how did these fit for me? How did these make me feel? And I started to feel. I started to actually feel my emotions, which in the beginning were extremely uncomfortable. Hence why I put a lid on them in previous times. But now I love them because it's, you know, it's energy and emotion. In motion, that's what emotions are. It's just energy that wants to pass through, and they usually become horrendous when we attach a story to it. But if we just kind of allow the emotion to be, and then it eventually goes, and and sometimes you need the help of a practitioner that can guide you through that emotion, and because there's things attached to that, and can be beliefs and behaviours that are creating that emotion to be there. So
there's often some unfolding that needs to be done, and of course you need somebody else to help you to go through that, because sometimes we don't have the capacity for doing it by ourselves, especially because of these beliefs that are there telling us that narrative. So how to step out of your narrative if you don't have somebody that shows that for you. Look, this is your thinking pattern. What shall we do about that?
That's right. And they're coping strategies, you know, when we're young.
They're there for a reason.
That's right. And it's all about, a lot of it is about protection, you know, just to keep safe. You know, that little girl or that little boy wants to just be loved and heard and feel safe and nurtured. So we'll do anything that will help us to feel that way. And that works as a kid sometimes, but when we get to adulthood and we're still playing out those beliefs and behaviours and things and strategies that
they don't serve us anymore, so it's important to free ourselves from those.
That's totally right. So,
And you said before that your aha moment was to realise that actually self-love is something possible, something achievable, and something that you wanted to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because without loving ourselves, how can we truly love anybody else? So how can we let that love in? And and it's an unfolding, it's a beautiful unfolding journey, because I fall in love with myself more and more all the time, and just when we have that self-love, you know, it's that belief in self, and it might be scary to do things, but we know that's the right thing to do, and feel the fear and do it anyway. So
so how do you achieve self-love?
So, really listening to what my body has to say, because my body's my cue. So, and doing things that make my heart sing. So, if something doesn't feel right for me, then I don't do it. And interesting. So sometimes I know it's the right thing to do, and I might be a bit scared, like today. I've got the nerves sitting in my heart centre, but so I'm feeling the fear and doing it anyway. But you know, knowing this is the right step to take, because it's about helping others, and that's what I love to do. So, you know, if that means me feeling a little bit fearful, then just do it anyway. So to answer your question, self-love. So doing what makes your heart sing, and really checking in with oneself, and and seeing if that feels right or not,
and self-care.
And self-care.
What's your self-care routine?
Yeah, so I have a daily morning ritual that I do. So upon waking, I'll do my little gratitude. So I'll reflect on the day before and what I was grateful for, and as I set my intentions for the day, I'm grateful in advance for, even down to car parks or the meeting going smoothly, and just see it quickly play out in my mind. And it's that or something even better, but it's that, what you put out there comes back. So it's a great start for the day, and it's how I end my day as well. As I'm drifting off to sleep, I go through and reflect on what I'm grateful for. And so, and also I have a daily yoga practice that I do. So a couple of times a week I'll attend a class. I'll do my practice from home, and it doesn't have to be that long, 5 minutes. It's about centering and grounding and having a really great start for the day, and getting the body moving. So it's and some people might choose to go for a walk or go for a run. It's whatever is a personal choice, exactly. And
be in nature.
Being in nature, and that's really important. And the really important thing is just to take some time and just to slow. Today's world is very busy. Well, it's probably always been busy, but it seems to get busier, and so it's really important to take that time to slow, and it might even be just stop and taking a few breaths, just to center, take some long, slow, deep breaths, and that really is calming. It's calming for the
nervous system.
Totally. That's totally right.
And nobody needs to know that you're doing it. Sometimes you just a few seconds doing it, and then that's already creating a shift. And the mindfulness practice, really being as present in the present moment as can be, and because all there is now, and we're very good at living in the past or in the future, and you miss the now. And if we can just come back to that love, even if we're feeling off, all there is love, and the opposite of that is fear, and that's that separation. That's that that not feeling connected to oneself and all that is. So and it's a process, isn't it? It's
Totally.
A journey, and that's what we're you're going to share us a little bit more about it. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Olivia, and thank you, Nikki, for joining us.
Hi, Liv.
It's a journey. It's a journey of self-discovery. Sometimes it's a journey of connection back to self and to source and to whatever you have lost the connection with. And I'm very intrigued by this journey practice that you are going to tell us a bit more about. So how did that come into your life, and how did you choose that was the journey that you wanted to take?
So when I had my second son and experienced postnatal depression, I attended a support group, and the funding ran out, so I ended up taking on the group. And for 13 years, and we had a weekly support group, and we had a few around the Auckland area. And after a while, a woman would come in, and they'd talk about what was going on for them, and I'd go, oh, I know what's at the core, there's abandonment here. And I didn't have the tools to help. And I'd done a little bit of Unitech work and that, but there was that. Needing a resource, a tool that was really able to support. So I read a couple of pages of Brandon Bay's The Journey book. I mean, that's what I wanted to do, because it's mind, body, and I loved the idea, that's that connection. That
we're a whole.
That's exactly right, and you can't separate them all out. You separate the mind, body, and soul. It's all one unit there, and if one's off, there, it impacts everything else. And so that was in the March 10 years ago, and then in the May they have what's called a journey intensive. So it's a weekend, and you learn the physical journey process and the emotional journey process. So I went to that, and and then I did my training, all the modules just
it just
lined
spoke
up.
to you. You felt like, that's my thing.
That was totally it. Like only after reading a few
yeah.
pages of Brandon's book, and so I just went on to do the practitioners program, and
and it is something that has obviously worked for you. How do you see it working with your clients?
Absolutely, because it gets to the root cause of what's going on. So, we get into it's like a guided meditation. So it's you get into a nice, relaxed state. And what we're doing is we're accessing the body's wisdom. It's an own innate ability to heal itself. And so we're working at a cellular level, and we give the mind gets a chance to relax, and we go inside a journey inside the body, and there'll be emotions that we'll work with, and memories, and there'll be beliefs, and we do cord cuts, and there's a campfire process, whereas a letting go of words that may not have been spoken, and it can get stuck in the cells there, and forgiveness and a future integration, and it's a very complete and I always say for the first process to allow 3 hours, because we're going on a journey. It's very deep and profound, and whatever is cleared out is cleared out, and so it's very cool indeed. So
And you've been working with mums as well.
Yes,
doing this methodology. Yeah,
totally. So when I was facilitating the support group, I worked with some women outside of the group privately, and a few of them were suicidal. And just in one session, we got to the root cause of what was going on. And the great thing is that we might not consciously know. There'll be stuff that's going on that's on replay, and it's about getting to that and clearing out. And through the journey method, we're able to do that. And and the body's wise. It will know. You don't need to necessarily know what you want to work on. The body knows once you've booked a session, and it will
something will come up.
Totally.
Unexpectedly sometimes.
Absolutely. And that's so some stuff is covered, and I've worked with one client, and something very deep that came up that she was really unaware of, that it was there, but it had impacted her relationships, and especially in male relationships, and it became clear why.
Of course, and what a beautiful gift to have that kind of realization.
Totally.
Sorry, Shamsi is asking, did you experience fatigue and physical symptoms with your PND?
Yes, I did have the physical symptoms, totally fatigued. Oh my goodness, and I so sleep deprived that I got insomnia. So I get really quite hyper, my nervous system gets fried, and I can hear a pin drop, and I just on hypervigilant, and so what
and this goes back to what we were saying about self-care, because I don't think we understand how much sleep deprivation work against us, and how the two things are actually quite correlated. There's somebody actually who's doing a research here in New Zealand about the correlation between sleep deprivation and postnatal depression, because of course we are not in a normal condition, and especially during the first few months things can get really hard for us.
Absolutely. And there's the hormonal changes that are going on, and who knows if there's relationship strain, or if there's financial hardships, that all impacts, and every baby's different, and there's no rule book. We can read up as much, but that experience
there is that one relationship, there is that one mum matching that one child, and it's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen out of that matching. Did you want to share some of the other symptoms, because it might be something actually that people can find? Hello Layla, and hello Amy. Nice having you here.
Welcome. So what are my other symptoms? Just brain fog. So no clarity, no direction, no motivation. In my dressing gown for days, unable to concentrate, and mood swings. What else did I have? So,
and the anxiety element, I think is important to remember.
Oh gosh, that was hideous. So I didn't have that the first time around, but second time around. But yeah, the anxiety. So that was my heart. Oh my goodness, I could swear someone could hear my heart beating out of the chest, and just shaky. So with the anxiety, I was unable to eat. I didn't. I felt sick, nauseous all the time, and
then you start malnourishing yourself, and that creates that kind of negative spiral, like the sleep deprivation, because everything plays a role.
And my vision, just I could not see the bigger picture. I was just tunnel visioned, and it felt like the world was closing in around me. And again, I got insomnia that time too. It's and just lost my intuition as well, my inability to connect with
and trust.
Totally. It's, so then all that the doubts there, and the judging of self, and all of those negative thoughts, and
that then become beliefs, that you can't think that there's any other thing. That's what becomes incredibly real. But if you're experiencing that, I'd just like to remind people that this is temporary.
Totally. Totally. And it's a gift. I know that can sound pretty horrible thing to say, is how can this be a gift? But it is. It's a wake up call. It's like there's something's off here, and we need to be listening. And there's that I am so grateful for my postnatal depression experience, because it was my wake up call. It was a time to find me, and it was time to start living, to strip back the layers and start to enjoy being me and living life, and speaking my truth, and connecting, having real connection with people, and
being in a position to, you created somehow the capacity for other people and help them. And Layla was asking about how your mental health, your maternal mental health experience. That was obviously connected to that. Maybe you wouldn't have come into this type of profession if you hadn't had that.
Totally. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that I thought I might want to work with people or animals, and I worked with children when I was out of school, and did nannying and childcare and that. And I've always loved supporting others, and just people will share their stories with me, and I could be walking in the street, and a stranger would just start pouring themselves out to me. So and I love that hasn't been, that's a natural gift of mine. And so what was your question? I've got sorry,
actually we can't see very well, so sorry. And hello Angie as well. But there was, and now that the question's gone.
It was.
But it was Layla. Layla, if you're still there, if you can write it again. How the maternal mental health experience was for you.
Totally. That's right. So it was about me getting in touch with myself, and having the experience of postnatal depression, and then learning all these tools and skills about self-care and self-love, and how to be a woman in the world, and how to be a mum in the world, and how to be just a great human being in the world. So and then I'm able to share that with other women that were going through, and also it's just about being heard and listened. So when I was facilitating the support group, I was holding a space, and women could come and they could share, and they could offload what was going on for them, and not be judged, and
because you could recognize the struggle having experienced it yourself first.
Totally. So I had that compassion, having experienced it myself, and and the ability just to be there for women. And what I've found for myself and I've found for others is that just in the talking and the sharing, light bulbs and aha moments can go off, for yourself personally. And so, and when you're sharing that in a group, it's even more powerful. Someone might say, and I go, oh, I do that too, and it's normalised and it's okay, and it's and then we can take action steps. So this isn't working for me, and what would I like to do about it? What is one action step I can take to pull me close? That's right. To take me closer to enjoying life and enjoying being mum and
so if you're not enjoying being a mum right now, do ask for help.
Yes, totally.
Did you receive any care or help through the public health system during your PND? So, hello, Bibi. Oh, we've got Bibi from Canada. I was wondering who's going to serve this time zone today, because we normally do it in the evening, so I know that London and Rome can be easily connected because it's morning there. But I was wondering this time which part of the world will connect. So we've got Canada. Hello.
So 20 years ago, I went to my doctor, and she referred me to maternal mental health, but their waiting list at the time was 3 months, so hence I went to the support group. And by the time I got accepted into maternal mental health, I was feeling a bit better, and I did go along to the support group for a wee while. And then I actually started working with maternal mental health. They wanted me to be their consumer advisor, so that was really great to be able to have an input there into the public system and come from my personal experience. So they tweaked some of their ways that they delivered their services. So what else was in? So yes. So I found so much power and empowerment in the support group. So I did attend the support group through the maternal mental health, but that's just a short boost. So I did that, and then I continued to probably by that time I was facilitating the other support group for a charitable trust.
Helping others helped yourself to
go through totally, because I was learning as I went along. As I was gaining my confidence. I mean, that was huge, taking on a support group, and I mean, my self-esteem was very low, my self-confidence, and that was all about, this was my self-love and finding myself as well. I got embarrassed really easy. Just didn't have any belief in myself. I didn't love myself, and so it was empowering for me to be able to help others, and I was learning about myself along the way. So it was great, and of course it was a peer support. So they're sharing stuff that I could relate to, and I could use their wisdom. So it was really it was beautiful.
We are coming to the end of our time together. Hello, Bibi. Thank you for being here today. I just wanted you maybe to tell our audience, if they wanted to try some journey work with you, what do they need to do? I know that there's a website. I will put the link to the website. But is there anything that they can... Hello, Kate. Hello? Sorry, I can't read very well. It's too far and too small. So what can they do to find you?
So you're going to put the link to my website, so they can find me that way. There's my contact details on there. There's also a link to the Journey website, so they can have a read about it. It's always, reading Brandon's book. I offer a 15-minute free, no obligation consult. So we can find out where you're at and where you want to be, and if Journey works for you, if we're a right fit. And for the viewers today, I'm offering a discount. So
thank you.
So if you mention mention that to me, and yeah, we'll
they've
hook
seen
you up.
you here on,
Yeah.
on the Mama Tribe.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna get a discount. Fantastic. I'm very actually intrigued to try it myself.
It's phenomenal. It's an experiential process, so it's it's
I don't think I've ever done anything like that. It doesn't sound like anything that I've done before. So I'm very interested in trying it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Megan. Is there anything
Pleasure.
else that you want to add?
Just know that you are doing an amazing job.
Yep.
You're beautiful just the way you are. Be kind on yourself. It's all a perfect unfolding journey that's you can't get wrong. It's just what's unfolding is perfect. It's how we respond to it, and sometimes we may not get that right, and there is no right. It's all just a learning, and you're doing an amazing job. You're doing the best that you can with what resources you've got, and
And Shamsi is asking, where are you based?
I'm based in Te Atatu Peninsula in West Auckland.
Okay.
So I have a practice that I run from home there. I've got a beautiful room.
Yeah. And do you work online?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yes. So Shamsi, if you're interested, please reach out. I will put the link to the website on the replay. So thank you, everyone. Please continue to follow us. There will be more experts and more practitioners and more mums sharing the stories coming up next week. The crowdfunding is still going on, so if you're in a position to give up your kappa for one day and give us just a few dollars, we just need a big number of people giving very few dollars. We don't need big amounts. Please do. You will find the links to the crowdfunding campaign on my Facebook page. So please do help. Do come on board with your stories and your support and your love, because we need it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
See you next
Sonia.
week. Thank
Bye
you,
all.
Megan.